Welcome back to Andrea's video blog. My name is Andrea and I'm the Dating Explorer. So last week we talked about love and definitions of it, and I think that love is pretty essential to talk about when we talk about dating. Today I'd like to talk to you about trust. For those of you visiting the Right Relationship for You website, trust is a main concern for everyone in our relationships. Now, when I talk about trust, I think what we're talking about is the lack of trust that we have sometimes, especially because we have been hurt in the past. And this opens up a story that I have of a dating experience I had years ago. I had the experience of love at first sight, and things moved pretty quickly, and I did change my life very quickly for this partner of mine. Originally, I'm from the East Coast, and we had made plans to move to the West Coast together. But something in me told me something wasn't quite right, and I slowed the plans down when he wanted me to speed things up. And as he was working his new job and looking for an apartment and setting up our lives there, something told me something was definitely not right within our relationship, and I ended things. But I couldn't tell you exactly what was not right. I just had this feeling, because he still wanted me to come down and work things out with him, but something in me told me no, just no. And it was only 8 months later when I realized that the reason I had felt this feeling was because 8 months later he told me that when I thought he was looking for a place for us, he'd actually moved in with his ex, and he was maintaining the two relationships. And basically I wasn't conscious of the actual facts at the time, but I just picked up that something wasn't quite right, and that was what it was. That was what was telling me not to trust him 100% and not to move to the West Coast, because he was already in another relationship, living the life that we had planned together. So I was kind of bummed. I was kind of hurt. Not kinda, really hurt. And I had trouble trusting men afterwards, and I really beat myself up about it. But then as I began to ask more and more questions as to what had happened, I just had this one morning where I woke up and I was like, I knew something was wrong. And I ended that relationship based on this feeling I had inside me. So where I felt that I had misplaced my trust, I actually placed my trust in the right person. I placed my trust in me. I trusted my instinct that was looking out for me ultimately. And this is what I'd like all of you to ask yourself. If you feel that someone is cheating on you, that your partner is lying to you, and you want to push the blame on this person 100%, have you missed out on the moment that maybe you knew it was going on? And a lot of the drama that is coming up is really your anger towards yourself that you didn't listen. And that's a really hard question to ask ourselves, because we're really saying, did we really know? And I can tell you a lot of people really do know what is going on, but they just don't want to face it. They want to project onto another person, perhaps, because in a way maybe that's easier. There's no judgment here. We've all been through it. I remember we've all been hurt at least once, and I'll tell you, losing that trust really does hurt a lot. But the thing is that the relationship that you are nurturing as well as the one with yourself. So trust your instincts. And if you do discover that this person is not someone to be trusted, but you feel like you want to forgive this person and go back in there, good. I'm happy for you. Now you're more aware. And just ask questions. Ask yourself what's really going on. And sometimes on other levels we know what's going on. We're all kind of connected to each other that way, kind of psychically. You know, we have that deja vu feeling and whatnot. I'd invite you to prioritize how much and how important trust is to you and your relationship. And that sometimes some relationships are worth saving, even though you've lost that trust. Because maybe what you can gain is a greater trust in a way that you didn't expect. And this is not to say that there won't be ups and downs to creating a new trust between you and your partner, but I invite you to find your own comfort zone. And I also ask you to trust yourself. What else is possible? And that's me. That's what I have to say about trust. We all are hurt. It happens to everybody. But you know what? A good friend of mine, she said to me the other day, she's like, you know what? You're the kind of woman who is going to put yourself out there. If it doesn't work out, pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and go find another. All right. Thanks very much for your time, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Thanks.